We're live. We're live on Substack for the first time. And I wanted to talk about why travel has been so transformative for you, for me, and just for the collective in general. So, in this video, I'm going to be sharing what am I sharing? Stories. I'm going to be sharing um personal stories, uh examples of my traveler stories, and why I believe the reason why people are also drawn to travel and then drawn to me know that there's something more in the travel world. There's this level of magic, mysticism, um, and transformation. And I'm getting distracted because I see one person who's watching. Hello, person. I can't see your name. It's not like an Instagram live. So I'm gonna probably close my eyes a couple of times because I really wanna talk about the impact of that travel has had on me. It has, especially countries like Portugal, um, Spain, South Korea. You all know how much South Korea has been a huge, huge impact on my life. And what happens when we go overseas to these places abroad, not only do they take us out of our usual and our comfort zone, but they also take us to places where we are meant to be in order to receive whatever medicine or message that we have from the land, from the people, from the culture. I had a traveler who now has her own business and is designing incredible retreats to Egypt. But before that, she had joined one of my small group culinary trips to Egypt. It was the second one that we did. And hello to the new viewer here. It was a second group trip that we had to Egypt. And it was her first time abroad. And what happened during that trip, as someone who works in the health world, in government, all this stuff, when she was in Garbage City, and forget how to pronounce it's a Coptic Christian community within Cairo, and they are the people who collect the trash in the districts in the city of Cairo, and they are reusing, repurposing, reuse, repurpose, recycle. There we go. And what she saw was, from the outside first, were children, like, in this place where there's garbage. Is it sanitary? Is it this? And it was really just a way of life. And she was able to see this from a not so Western perspective because that's what happens, right? We're here in the United States, and I'm assuming, I know I have people in like Sweden and India, etc., but and in Canada, but here in the United States, what we have is the news. If you go to a Muslim country, horrible things will happen to you if you are a woman, an American woman, and you speak English. And I've had that experience where I went to Turkey and I went to Batman, Turkey. I took an 8-hour bus ride. I took the wrong time. They gave me a ticket for the wrong time. And I ended up in Batman, Turkey at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning at a bus terminal that was closed. But there were like 40 men there hanging out, waiting. And I mean, they were hanging out, but they were sleeping. Um, and I was like, this is it. This is it. This is how I go. This is how I die. Because based off of our media, this is where I get raped. This is where I get stoned to death. And I didn't realize that the dress I was wearing that I thought was very conservative, I had to wear it for like 2, 3 days in a row because of the long journey, had stretched out and it became see through. So the scarf that I was supposed to have on my head was wrapped around my waist. And all those men did was they wanted to figure out, first off, I said, kept saying Hassan Kef, and they were like, girl, you're not at the right place. But they don't speak English and I don't speak Turkish, right? So it turns out all they wanted to do was take care of me and make sure I was okay. And eventually, at like 6 o'clock in the morning, they got the one guy that they know who speaks English to wake him up. And it was Ramadan. So he actually had a couple of snacks, missed breaking, not breaking fast, but, eating his breakfast early in order to help me. And it was a beautiful experience. Same thing with Korea, living in Korea. Everybody's like, oh my God, all these horrible things about North Korea are happening. But like, I wasn't hearing any of that stuff. And the Korean people were more concerned about their president, their first female president, Moon. No, Moon was the guy after her. But they were more concerned about her regulating the lengths of their skirts than whatever the hell North Korea was doing. And this is what prompted me to want to join the travel industry, to bring specifically people, US citizens, people who are born and raised in the United States, overseas to see what it's really like, what the truth is. So when we go to places overseas, we might not think that it's coming from a spiritual place. But then you come back, or like when we go to Japan, and Japan is like, oh my God, they're in the future. Korea's in the future. China's in the future, but they're not. They're not in the future. We are backwards here. So the whole point of this, I'm going off on a tangent about the lies we're told. When we go overseas, we are feeling called to a place. We might not know why we feel called to that place. We might see photos of the Amalfi Coast because everybody's going there and it's such a beautiful place. You want to see something beautiful, but somewhere deep down inside, your body is like, no, no, that's not where we're supposed to go. We need to go to Puglia. And then you go, but I don't know anything about Puglia. So I'm gonna go to the Amalfi Coast when that's not where you need to be. Where you need to be is in Puglia. Where you need to be is in Shanghai. Where you need to be is in Perth, Australia, not in Sydney. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, please like comment, please ask questions. I don't know how this shit works. It's the first time I'm doing this. It's not Instagram Live. I could have anyway, tangent. So anyway, this person who went to Egypt then ended up the group eventually went to the Sinai Peninsula. The Sinai Peninsula is considered the Holy Land. It's in the Bible. It's all this magical stuff. And um, when she went there, she felt like she was home. But she's from deep south, USA, has never been overseas before. But she felt called to go to these places. Why? Now, for her personal experience, I can't go into the details of it, but she was transformed. For me, when I've gone to Portugal, the first time I went to Portugal, holy shit, I fell in love. Oh my God. I fell in love with Portugal. The architecture, and in 2019 is when I went. And I happened to be there two times. It was in the beginning of 2019 for the BTL travel show. They wanted to invite a bunch of travel advisors from the United States, and they paid for our flights. They put us up in hotels, and it was the most magical experience. And then at the end of the year, when I went to ILTM Cannes, it's a luxury travel show in France. Um, and I was invited to go on a Relay and Chateau fam familiarization trip. I'm not going to get into the details, but to Portugal, Galicia, Spain, which I used to live in. And why was I called there? I have no idea. But it's the same land, the Iberian Peninsula. Somehow I ended up in Portugal twice, fell deeply in love with the country, that I needed to design a small group trip to Portugal. And that was the first group trip post 2020 in 2021 to Portugal. And I fell in love after a breakup, a big breakup with somebody. I fell in love with somebody. I reignited my soul was reignited as an artist. I went to art school. I had always been an artist until after I graduated art school. And then I was an art director with the Food Network, but I never considered myself an artist because school ruined me. Don't go to art school, guys. Mm, some people had great experiences. I don't recommend it. Take some classes here and there if you want. But what happened in art school oh, no, what happened in Portugal was my turn on. Holy smokes, was I turned on by the architecture, the tiles, even the floors were beautiful. The trees were beautiful. The landscape, the people, the language, everything about it. So I, of course, immediately went to, oh, I must have had a past life here. I felt the same way with South Korea. Excuse me, when I lived here. I had a mushroom coffee thing to help me write this newsletter, and now I'm live on Substack, and now I'm burping. So the what happened in Portugal was I started playing with ceramics, doing hand building, working with my hands, going to the art museums. I was not going to art museums. I was so like fuck art for years. I was painting, and then art supplies were so affordable over there compared to here in the United States. I stocked up. I even had this pencil case from Portugal. The pencils in it, they're not very good pencils from Portugal. So, oh, my markers are from Portugal. I still have these things, and every time I go, I purchase art supplies. But what has also happened when I've been overseas and other people have been overseas is something awakens. Recently, a friend slash former traveler who's traveled with Chima's Travel, my travel company that I've closed, um, they came with us to Portugal twice, and they said once I decided I was going to focus in on travel from a really spiritual, mystical place. This person, amongst other people who have hired me to design their travel in the past, who have traveled with Chima's Travel on small group culinary trips, they said that this made sense because any trip that I had designed, that they had joined, they had huge transformative experiences. They don't know what is happening to them and why they needed to go to these places, but something happened. One person in particular said that they eventually had gotten a past life regression session, and they were told why they needed to go to Evora, to these monoliths, these rocks that are there. When I was designing their trip for them, I'm like, I don't know why I feel like you got to go to these rocks. I know they're just rocks, but there's something cool here. They're like, where did they come from? It's kind of like the Stonehenge, right? This was before I knew I was a psychic medium. And of astrocartography. When you look at your astrocartography and you can see all these lines cutting into different places, and then you might see a line, Venus, Jupiter, the planet Uranus, cutting through a place where you had such a profound magical experience. It doesn't always mean that you need to move there. You just needed whatever that land needed to give you. Travel is a huge portal. I see it as time traveling, jumping timelines, jumping to other dimensions. You're on a plane, flying through the air. What is happening there for us on that flight? Who are we? Who do we become? Where do we go in this world, in this timeline, in this dimension? And then you go to these places and you have these transformative experiences and you're like, shit, I was just trying to escape from my daily grind. And then you go to this place and you're like, oh, I don't have to live my life in this way that I've been told by society. I can have more. I can do more. And sometimes parts of us just get activated, right? These are knobs. Beep, boop, 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 boop. They just get activated. And when they get activated, certain things get unlocked. For me, It's been my it's been my creativity that has been unlocked. My heart has been unlocked. When I went to Portugal later, you're like a couple of years later, I found out that Venus was a planet that like cut through and near Portugal, and it was like the strongest planet energy wise. I didn't know that. And what does Venus do? It's the planet of love, beauty, creativity, romance, money. And what happened there was I had met someone, I dated this person, we fell in love, and it was deeply healing, that relationship, and it was incredibly eye-opening. And at the same time, I was painting. I was making ceramics. I wish I brought out my ceramics. I don't know where they are. Because yeah, I just don't know where they are. They're packed up somewhere. So anyway, how does travel transform you? How does it support you? How is it in service to you? Why do you feel called to a certain place? And this is why I'm bringing back travel planning, but it's in a different way. I've talked about doing travel mediumship, but now folks have been asking me, and it's just been coming up, planning travel with your spirit team, with tarot cards, with all these things, using intuitive abilities and my psychic abilities to help design a trip, research specifically, design and research a trip that is for you in your highest good, for your highest good. And one of the trips that I have coming up is one to Portugal. It is a creative retreat. It is 3 days in wild Alentejo near the border of Spain at this farmhouse. Oh, construction just started. I hear them downstairs. I thought I had a lunchtime window to do this. And it's only 4 spots that are available, just because it is an experience that I was able to find, and I'm coordinating all the bits and pieces for the 5 of us total because I will be joining you. Um, and if you're interested, you can see I have video FAQ, because some people had asked me questions, and I also have the actual like itinerary and day to day on that. So, um, if anything I've said like struck a chord, please comment. Please let me know. Please share your travel stories. I would love to hear your travel stories and how travel has transformed you. What has been your most inspirational and magical experience? And I'm going to be talking more about travel and spiritualism. This Friday, I am actually going to go to an event hosted by Maha Rose in Brooklyn, New York. Um, Lonely Planet collaborated with an astrologer or a tarot reader. Ugh, I don't know who they are, to design a travel tarot deck. I'm very excited to have that, to share it with you, and to do readings with it. So, um, that's it. I love you. Happy all the New Years. Um, for all those, there's so many celebrations happening right now, and it's Pisces season and the eclipse and all this stuff. So, and also the people who have been watching, say hi or give me a little heart and let me know who's here. Okay. With love. Oh, Brianna literally just showed up. It's over, Brianna. You can rewatch this. It's all about travel and the impact of travel and you being a specialist for Ghana. Everyone else who's watching, like, watch this video, okay, Brianna? Okay. Bye, everybody. Give me a moment. I gotta end this. Okay, got it. End.